Lastly, we have Al Lipscomb. Will you come forward, Al? Good morning.
Morning, Judge Sterrett and Commissioners. With me this morning, we have Mrs. Oral Adams, President of the East Dallas Community Action Council. We have Sister Vanilla Helton, in charge of all senior citizens in East and South Dallas. She also teaches Bible at St. Mark Baptist Church. She also teaches a Bible class at Roosevelt Heights and up in one of the East Dallas centers. And we have Mrs. Lovey Lipscomb. These are some of the disruptive forces that went to Washington that you were talking about. We are gravely concerned about all of these wild statements, although it's within your right, but these wild statements that you are making. We had 36 people on the bus. Most of them were senior citizens and youth who were within their rights to petition their government. We have noticed that you flew off to Washington to petition them also. No one said that was a waste of taxpayers' money. We are concerned about every time some of the poor and the oppressed attempt to address themselves to the government or to petition the government. You seem to make these type of statements. We think that you are polarizing, alienating the communities. As hard as we try to make a bridge of communication, you do all you can to tear it down. That's the way it appears to us. And I would like for you to apologize to these senior citizens here, because I don't think they look disruptive. They are indeed disruptive to oppression and injustice.
Is that all?
No, that's not.
Go ahead.
I hope you're listening at me and not being callous about this, Judge Sterrett. You know, surely a great lawyer like yourself, who has been escalated to a judgeship, you know, should listen. You know, I have quite a bit of age on me also. But what is coming behind me will not be intimidated and cowered down behind your tactics. We should have some bridges of communication. That's what we're about doing. Why don't you try and work with us instead of all of these derogatory statements that you continuously make? What group are you playing to? I think you're doing our city an injustice with your statement, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else in the courtroom like to say anything? Thanks for coming down now. I understand that there's another group would like to appear before the commissioners to ask for money to go to Washington. That's the people that make an honest living, concerned about the poor and concerned about their taxes. They want to know if the war on poverty will furnish their money. That's people that work for a living. That's people that's having a hard time paying the taxes. That's people that's concerned about some $600 million was spent for public relations consultant fees on OEO. We talk about charity, and we talk about helping the poor, and we talk about helping the retarded, and the sick. And those other people that's in need. When if the federal government would come along here, John, you might pass this along to the board members and stop the waste, the shameful spending, then we'd have ample money to help the poor and the needy. But you come in here and throughout this country and spend millions and millions of dollars. Just sheer waste to pay these sort of people to keep up a chaotic condition. You talk about helping the poor. There's no group in all the land that's had any greater compassion for the poor. Your hospital out here demonstrates that. Your welfare department. And the recent setting up, the commission is working hard with the mentally retarded, mental health association. But when you choke our people to death by wasteful and shameful spending, and we forget about the hundreds and hundreds of people that's reached retirement in this great city of ours, that built their estates, built up their retirement plan, it's faced with the taxes that we having to pay today and inflation, it's pretty bad. If we permit this sort of type of government trying to control all of our local units of government out of Washington. And if it's fair for these people to pay their expenses, well, why not let the people that help build Dallas, who's not able financially to go to Washington and state their cause?
Judge, were you speaking to me?
Well, you're a member of the board.
Well, I certainly am. I didn't know whether you talked to Mr. Lipscomb or to me. But I cannot respond to either Mr. Lipscomb or to you. I can only tell you that I go to these board meetings, and Mr. Lipscomb, and I hope as you see the coverage in the meeting, I disagree with wasteful spending if I see wasteful spending, and Mr. Lipscomb, who was at the last executive meeting, saw me vote against an expenditure for a trip to Washington. However, I was operating within what you call the system of this war on poverty. I was outvoted. Today, I don't enter into any of the remarks or give approval to any of the remarks made by Mr. Lipscomb addressed to you. I certainly do not disagree with them.
Of course, I appreciate that, John, but I think it's high time that the city of Dallas and the county of Dallas moved in on this thing. And we cured it months ago.